All right. It's the first day of July, and on a day where the greater Philadelphia area is experiencing temperatures around 100 degrees, we are here to talk about a sport played on ice. On the week of the United States' 250th birthday, we all wait on standby for American superstars Zach Werenski, Jason Robertson, and Connor Hellebuyck to be moved or declare they are staying with their respective teams. And while the continent is hosting the world's game, we are here to discuss what is really on everyone's mind. Who will win the Boone Jenner sweepstakes? And we got the answer to that. It's going to be Washington. And with that, we'd like to welcome everybody to the inaugural episode of the Keystone podcast. I am Zach. That is Steven. We were going to kind of go into what the show is going to be about and how we're going to frame this and our time and our schedule, but we'll do that another day because there's a lot of news to talk about, Steven.
Sure is. Free agency, not the biggest, but not the worst at all. Definitely some big names still out there that haven't signed yet, but as we're making this, signings are happening right now. We're checking our phones to make sure we don't miss any of the news. So as
We're
it
on
breaks,
standby.
we'll let you know.
We're on standby. We're staying pat.
So what are we doing? Me talk about the Penguins, you talk about the Flyers. What do you want to do?
Yeah, so I guess how we'll start this, like you said, very slow. We knew coming into this there are not a lot of huge names going into free agency. Everyone gets signed very quickly, but we will talk about the larger news around the league. But this is a Pennsylvania central show. We're gonna start with the west of Pennsylvania. We'll hear Steven's thoughts on what Kyle Dubas is doing. What do you think? How would you rate this free agency so far? Some names have gone, not a lot have come in. What's your opinion on this?
So I'm really not surprised at who has left. It's pretty much everybody. There's not a lot besides the RFAs that the Penguins have offer contracts to. We don't know how much to any of them, but I know Chinikov definitely got one. Seelov's got one. So they're the ones that I mainly want to see because they're going to affect, I guess, what else they do, depending on how much cap they take. Penguins went into it with $39 million in cap, so they had plenty of cap to make room for improvements. And I don't know if they did that. I think they just really replaced guys that were leaving. I don't really think it drastically changes the team much at all. Kuzmenko coming in at 1 year, $5 million, just kind of replaces Mantha, I think, and I think he'll play really well. I imagine he'd play with Malkin and Chinikov, so we have a whole Russian line. And the way that Chinikov came in and blew up, making Malkin look young again and him boosting his career after leaving Columbus. So I think hopefully that'll be the same with him. Trevor Van Riemsdyk, I'm fine with that signing. $4 million, 2 years, that's fine. He replaces, I think, Wotherspoon, which I would have kept. Or with that trade to Vegas, I would have at least got a draft pick with it, hopefully, like a later round, just because you're taking cap that you really didn't need to help Vegas, who doesn't need the help. But it is what it is. And then they signed that Declan from Tampa Bay, who I don't really know much about, just another depth defenseman signing to replace, I guess, Ryan Shea, who I expected to leave. And I think in Edmonton will fit pretty well with how they play. Kevin Hayes is gone. Wonderful news. I do like Hazy, but it was definitely time to move
Energy
on
guy
from
for
that.
sure, but
Oh, for sure. I know Crosby loved him, so that would have been like the main reason I thought he would have stayed. But I love Mantha. It sucks that he's going to go, but I mean, with the playoffs that he had, I'm not the saddest to see him go, but I mean, everything that they've done, I'm not really surprised or disappointed about. It's kind of just a standard off season, I think, so far. I guess really it will depend on how much the RFAs get. And then I do like the Robertson trade. I'm hoping that'll also maybe get his brother to make his way over here, but that's a hope and a prayer. So
it seems like Pittsburgh's all about uniting brothers right now.
yeah, I mean the Ruck twins. I'm very pleased with that draft. I figured if they got the one, whoever it was, that with them being like inseparable, that whoever got him, I would would want the other brother later on in the draft or move up for it. So luckily they didn't really have to do much. They kind of just fell to them. Because I thought that if you drafted the other brother knowing the other team had already got him, I feel like you were taking a bigger risk splitting them up. So I don't think they'll be in the NHL next year, but definitely have time to develop together and then hopefully come up together, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I have high hopes for them.
If you were to give a letter grade, where would this free agency day fall?
For us, I mean, like I said, it's still flowing in. You don't know. I mean, they have the money. I feel like at this point for the Penguins, with who's gone, it would just be more depth guys. Or if they make like a big trade, they have the money for it. So I don't see why not. Luckily, they're not getting Darnell Nurse, so I don't have to worry about the cap
We'll get
going
to
there.
that. We'll get to Darnell Nurse.
Um,
We'll spend some time on that.
but no, I mean, I give it like a B. It's just kind of
Yeah.
in the middle of the pack.
Now, I think I reached out to you on multiple occasions telling you about how horrendous Anthony Mantha's playoff series against Philadelphia was.
Yeah,
And
negative about it.
there 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 have been a lot of thoughts on it. I mean, it was pretty evident he did not have the greatest playoffs. But I mean, 34 goals is hard to replace in a regular season. I guess. Do you think? Obviously, there's always going to be some kind of plan when you're in charge of one of the 32 teams in the NHL. But do you trust that they're going to find a way to replace those goals? Do you think Chinikov takes another step forward?
I think realistically, I think they want Kuzmenko to take this step. I think that's what their hope is, that he'll take the boy. Because I mean, he had I forget. I think I saw like 50 games. He had like 25 points or something like that. So I mean, he didn't play a lot, but I mean, when he did, he seemed like pretty productive. So I think that's what their hope is, that he will fit well with Gino and Chinikov, and that line, I guess, will hopefully be the thing that boosts him to like the next level. I don't know if they have another star like Kindle. I think he'll take another step. So I think that's what another hope is, that he'll make it. And then they have some guys potentially like McWordy, hopefully maybe translates from Wilkes-Barre, because I know they had a fantastic run this year, making it to the conference final, to lose to the Marlies, who ended up winning it. So I think they have some prospects in the pipeline that they also maybe give this shot to make it to the NHL finally. Like if Mike Sullivan was still here, I probably wouldn't be saying that. But Muse seems to allow the young kids to develop, and we'll see if they keep going.
Yeah, I think Muse's history with being a juniors coach and then he spent some time in the AHL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's kind of what you want in Pittsburgh's clearly in a huge transitional phase right now, because although it feels like I still think Crosby's going to play till he's like 52 years old. I have no plan on like ever seeing him stop playing hockey. I'm just like kind of building myself up for that. But another 1 year contract for Gino. My thought exactly with the Kuzmenko signing, like it's almost almost a larger addition with like the countryman, the Russian commonality, because we saw how it worked with Chinikov. I think it was a pretty hefty price when they gave Columbus for Chinikov, and I wasn't very familiar with this game. I knew a little of him, and I mean his game skyrocketed as soon as he started playing with Malkin, and sometimes the veteran presence is like kind of all you need for some of these guys, and with one certain star Russian on my side, I hope someone will come in, maybe Tarasenko on a veteran
Yeah, hey, you never know.
veteran minimum.
I never even really thought of that. That could actually work now thinking about it. But I mean, hey,
I,
he could come over here. I got a Russian mentor for him.
just like that. If you could assemble a team full of Russians, I think you might be onto something.
Yeah.
Um,
Start with a goaltender. That's all you need.
well, yeah, and then you got Mershov
Yeah.
maybe coming soon. So I
Yeah,
think
no,
we're
I think their goal is, because Seelovs is definitely getting the extension. And now that Skinner just signed with Winnipeg, I figured he was going to go. Winnipeg is not where I thought he would land, especially with Hellbuck still being there as of right now. That could change, though. You never know. But I think they really would like Mershov to get some ice, which I'm fine with. I think he deserves it. I don't know how well Bloomquist has been doing. He was the guy, and now he's kind of like middle man in it. So I don't know. The goaltending is the one thing I'm interested seeing what they do. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is Seeloss as a starter with Mershov as a backup at the start of the season.
I think that's a good direction to go into because I mean Pittsburgh exceeded expectations this year. They were pretty low at this time of the season, even going into like October, which
Oh yeah, no, we projected to get McKenna and all that. I mean, would have been a little nice, but I
yeah.
mean, I'd rather have what we had. One more run in the playoffs, even though didn't go the best, but it was nice to see them play a little bit of later than you know March hockey. So
And you also have a large portion of draft picks coming up too,
oh yeah,
which is
yeah.
always what makes me surprised that Jason Robertson's name hasn't popped up as much as maybe I anticipated for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping now. Well, I don't know. The brother thing is kind of just like, oh yeah, he's here. Let's hope. But um, because I've been seeing like Raquel's name being traded and whatnot. Like I could see Raquel being like, if they're gonna do something, he'd be part of it with some high end draft picks. But like they were talking about Russ potentially moving, I was like, that just doesn't make sense to me at all. Like Russ is arguably Sid's best line mate of all time. Um, and he's like a locker room guy. He's a penalty killer. Like it's not somebody they're going to replace like that. He's kind of like he's like the Hornquist now, I guess. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have the money, so I don't really. They're going to retain on Parker Waterspoon. I think they could retain on. I don't know, buying out Ryan Graves. That would be cool, but that's not going to happen. I guess that's the one thing I think Kyle's done wrong is that contract. Other than that,
What's the term on the Graves contract?
I think he's like like 3 or 4 more years at like almost 5. It's not good. Yeah.
Everyone is. I mean, if there's one thing Kyle Dubas is known for, it's exceedingly large contracts. Didn't work so much in Toronto, but I think he's done a very good job this past year. I think he set you guys up pretty well.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I really don't have many complaints with what he's done since he's really taken over. Truly, I don't be it's really that. And then I mean Jari's contract he did give, but we don't have to deal with that anymore. That's the Oilers' problem now.
yeah, I mean, speaking of Oilers, I think one of the sneaky moves of the day is them landing Devin Levi.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Buffalo's actually got a good crop of like really strong young goaltenders, and to get him for only a third round pick, I think that's a pretty decent bargain. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he's going to be the level of starter that they might be like imagining, but if you give him time, I think he's going to end up. I think he's going to be a really solid NHL goaltender. I don't think he's there yet. Goalies take obviously a very long time. You got to be delicate with them. It's very similar with defensemen, but since we're on the topic of Edmonton, they weren't done today. I think the both of us the past week or two have been waiting in crippling anxiety for the potential of a Darnell Nurse acquisition from either of our teams. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia were actually two of the largest names that were circulating and formulating, and the fact that it started because he's Donovan McNabb's nephew is absolutely hysterical to me. Uh, I don't know if there's any other basis other than like, oh yeah, he's Donovan's nephew, and he has family here that made both of our teams such a desirable location, and the fact that we both had projected cap space to spare. But like, why would you just dip your toe in his salary hell? I don't know, but We don't have to have a headache for it because he has been dealt to the San Jose Sharks. No, yeah. So wipe the sweat off your brow. Zero cap retention. His $9 million cap hit still retains for the next 4 years. And the Sharks weren't done with some hefty contracts. They signed Jacob Trouba today, $8.5 million at 4 years. So they are paying one line of defense $17.5 million a year for the next 4 years. That's it's pretty hard to. It's especially hard to wrap my brain around because you can argue a team hasn't. There isn't a team in the league that hasn't aced their rebuild as well as the San Jose Sharks in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, they literally have the future of the sport drafted with Macklin Celebrini. They just drafted Ivar Stenberg, who was the best center prospect in the draft. They moved up and
Ryan Lynn.
They took Ryan Lynn, who I desperately wanted in the Flyers, and we'll get to that very shortly. And even Will Smith and Michael Misa. I mean, they were loading up on top five forwards, and listen, they're gonna have to pay Macklin Celebrini a lot of money coming up.
Oh yeah,
that might be the largest contract in the history of the NHL.
Is it up next year?
I believe it's next year. So he's entering his third season. He's eligible. I believe he's eligible this season, but I don't know if they're going to extend him.
Yeah, I mean,
you can go. You can go ahead. My bad.
No, it froze on me. So,
oh, you're good.
No, I mean he's getting max whatever he wants. Like that's just the way his contract's going to be. There's certain guys, and he's one of them. Like you can't even. I don't know. I mean 20 if need be. I feel like for somebody like that.
Yeah, I mean Kaprizov just got 17 a year, right? That was Kaprizov's number. I mean, he's pretty. Yeah, I mean 19, 20 sounds about right with the way the cap is moving. But the Sharks had to have projected this, but they locked up all that money. I mean, the crazy thing is like I don't think Trouba and Nurse are bad players. I think they're good NHL defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that Darnell Nurse might have the worst contract in sports that makes you pause a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on a line with Evan Bouchard, who is maybe one of the 3 or 5 best offensive defensemen, and his numbers tapered. I'll get his numbers up in a second, but you know, if he's more of a defensive defenseman, his I mean, for $9 million it didn't make sense when they signed it, and it still doesn't make sense like 2 or 3 seasons later. I mean, good for Edmonton for not having to retain anything. I mean,
yeah, that's baffling to me. I can't believe they're not.
And that gives them so much flexibility if they want to, you know, get McDavid some help, and they're going to need to if they don't want to lose him. So, and I guess while we're on the topic of massive cap hits for defensemen, I guess we should talk about the Bowen Byram saga that happened in the past week. I mean, the price Chicago gave up to have the rights to resign him. I mean, the 4th overall pick. Yeah. And that was one. I mean, that was a name I wanted the Flyers to go after really bad. And even, I mean, even back when I think Giroux was getting traded, I think like when Byram was still in Colorado, he was one of the names like, oh, you know, we can send him here, get Byram and a pick back. They ended up going with getting Owen Tippett and a first rounder from Florida. But I mean. If the Flyers were to match that price, it would have had to have cost Matvei Michkov. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would be the equivalent of a 4th overall pick. I mean, they don't have an asset that valuable. I mean, perhaps maybe the Toronto first rounder for next year, but with the way Toronto moved today, they seem like they want to stay competitive next year. So that pick might fall in the middle of the draft, as it usually does for the Philadelphia Flyers. So I mean, I don't know. What's your opinion on the price? I think he's an ascending talent. I think he has like first line potential, but I mean, $12.5 million is
Yeah,
that's
I
a lot of
mean,
money.
to be the highest paid defenseman in the National Hockey League now, I don't know. I mean, he's definitely got the upside, and I mean, if he keeps projecting it, he'll probably be worth it. But where it stands right now, I mean, that's a crazy number. But I mean, if a team can afford it, it would be Chicago. It's also helping them, hopefully secure Bednar staying there, seeing that is not 100% guaranteed that he is from the talks that they've had. It sounds like I don't see him going anywhere, but that definitely helps lock that up as like, all right, look, we got him, we got the term, like that should, ease him a little bit, knowing he's got a very, very solid defenseman behind him for a good amount of time too. So it's definitely a good move for Chicago, but I mean, yeah, the price right now is definitely jarring.
Yeah, well, it's twofold because it's the price that they gave up to just acquire his rights, and then the cap hit. It's I mean, that's just a tremendously large cap hit. But that's the way Chicago's doing business nowadays, I guess. I mean, they are slowly building something. I mean, I think Frindell's gonna probably get some Calder votes this year. Now that he's got a full season in NHL, he played at only a handful of games at the end of the year. And then Bedard still hasn't had a healthy season yet.
Yeah.
Um, he just still hasn't had one. I root for the kid. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world, but and I think the comparison to Celebrini is a little unfair because I mean it's not like they were the same draft necessarily. Um, but he's the first overall pick for a reason. I personally hope he turns out all right. He's going to turn out all right. He was on pace for probably around 40 goals before he had an injury, and then he could have made Team Canada if he was still if he's healthy around that time. But yeah, if we're talking about Calder votes, I guess I should transition to who I found it was the Vegas odds-on favorite right now is Porter Martone
Oh yeah, he would. Yeah, he is eligible next
above
year.
Gavin McKenna, which isn't that surprising. I mean, with the way,
Yeah,
I mean the short amount of time he had, I mean that was unbelievable. And of course he tapered off. He was scoreless in the last 6 playoff games, but I mean the fact that a 19-year-old came in and did what he did like that quickly, like coming off of college, and then he went into the World Championship and then shared a line with Crosby and Celebrini, which was
yeah,
one of the craziest lines that I could ever remember.
and he wasn't just on it; he produced on it.
Yeah, I mean, he was racking up assists. Even the World Juniors, he led the tournament in goals last winter. But yeah, I guess I'll transition into the Flyers portion of business. It was a day. So it wasn't. It was. This is was very difficult because there are a lot of doomers in the Flyers community. A lot of people saying, "Why aren't they signing these guys? Why aren't they signing these guys?" And those same people were also saying that the free agency class sucks, which they're correct about. So at this point, who do they want them to acquire? I don't know. I'd say this is a very there are goods and there are bads right now for what Danny Briere and company are doing. There are two big extensions today. One we knew about before, and the other one was kind of a bit of a surprise for two of their one young talent, one player they brought in. And the one we knew about is Dan Vladar, 5 years, 5.5 million. I believe there is a no trade up until the second year. And of course, Flyers fans are finding a way to complain about this. I mean, there's nothing. If you see a 5-year and 5.5 million in 2017, I can see why you're panicked over a goalie. But I mean, like that was like pretty much the contract Valtteri Filppula was given some time ago, and that was an absolute nightmare and impossible to get off of. So I can understand why Flyers fans have a bit of like PTSD seeing a number like that, but you got to also remember this is probably the most productive season from a Flyers goaltender, and I mean since Steve Mason's first year here, and even past that, I mean the guy was unreal. The guy was nails throughout the whole season, and the fact that he didn't have a backup. I mean, Sam Ersson. I'm happy for Sam Ersson. He got a two-year, $2 million deal in Ottawa today. So I'm happy for him. I've always rooted for the guy. It just was not working out here. He was one of the worst backups in the league, and that's saying a lot. But now that they got Joseph Woll, they acquired Joseph Woll a couple weeks ago from Toronto. They have a legit tandem now, which the Flyers really haven't had a legit tandem since like Briz and Bobrovsky. We know how that ended. I think today was actually the anniversary of Brizgalov being paid. I think there's only 1 year left. We're almost out of the Brizgalov contract.
I know Shea Weber's contract ended today.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
Good for them. Good for him. He's good. He's well off. I think he'll be all right not getting that couple mil. It's all right. Shout out to Shea Weber, great player. Almost a Philadelphia Flyer. That was almost a
yeah.
Back in the day, that was one of the original offer sheets that Paul Holmgren kind of got exiled for a little bit there. Like the league kind of hated Paul Holmgren for that, which is I guess a perfect way to bring up the RFAs, because that was a large talking point for Flyers fans to acquire some kind of talent. But I just never was really sold on a lot of these names. Like Adam Fantilli's name came up a lot. I don't know. He finished. I mean, 24 goals. I mean, it's a good season for a 23-year-old. But I mean, you're really going to break the bank for Adam Fantilli? I personally don't see it. I think that there are enough. The Flyers are an organization with 100 wingers and then 5 third-line centers. I don't think we really need another second to third-line center. That's why when Beniers' name is flashing up, Matty Beniers, that I see a little more potential in that because he won the Calder. He was a second overall pick. Obviously, Fantilli was a top 5 pick, but and then Leo Carlson's name getting thrown out there. Anaheim is matching whatever number Leo Carlson gets thrown at him. I mean, there's just no universe for Anaheim. They have a massive amount of cap space. They Zellweger just went to Buffalo, so they open up John Carlson's. I'll get into
let Gudas go.
Yeah, Radko Gudas gone.
And
They did sign. Yeah, Trouba went to San Jose. So they had a lot of money coming out. They did sign AJ Gruder a contract today. So they have more money on the books, and which they're going to need because William Gauthier is going to need a contract next year. And I mean, Leo Carlson's listen. That's their 1C for the future. They're not letting him walk in arbitration. They're going to match whatever number. So I thought the whole idea was like funny to begin with. And I think the organization just knew it was a funny idea. There's just too many risks with it. I think the last big RFA that I can remember was Jesper Kotkaniemi, and he didn't even play a game in the Stanley Cup final for the Hurricanes. So I don't know. It doesn't always work out that much, and I didn't really see it with Fantilli. But back to Vladar. I'm going on a massive tangent. I love the contract. 5 years, maybe too long, but like every contract is too long now. Tyson Forster gets an 8-year contract for $7 million annual. I love Tyson Forster. The length of the contract is a bit scary. I think the number is actually very good considering you see a lot of these guys. I mean, $7 million is around the price where Jackson Lacombe got $7 million from Anaheim last year. You're just gonna have to pay your young guys. If you hit on a draft pick, you got to spend money on them, and I think that's a good philosophy to have. 13 goals in 29 games. Obviously, he had that huge injury in the middle. I think you were in the building when that injury took place.
He blew his shoulder out right in front. I was because I was behind the net, and he took that slap shot, and next thing I saw him pulling his shoulder, and I was like, what even happened? and
Yeah, and
that
he
was
just
it.
flew to the locker room. And I mean, he was on a 40-goal pace before that. I mean, he was lighting up the lamp like every single chance he could have. Came back from an injury, was productive after the injury. And his game tapered off in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It happens, you know what I mean? Like, it was his first. He's 23. It's his first taste at playoff hockey. Players talk all the time about the intensity of the game. Even I think Trevor Zegras, in an interview, was saying like there's nothing you can really do to prepare for it. I think that's why in this like brief playoff run that the Flyers had, Sean Couturier was the best forward because he had been there before. I mean, he was an absolute Iron Man for them. And listen, I mean, we saw it with Michkov. It's not gonna click for these guys right away. It's very rare. I mean, the guys from Dallas. I mean, Wyatt Johnson and when Stankoven was there when he was first drafted, and then Robertson. I mean, I think that kind of numbed us to thinking that every young player would just go into the playoffs and just be nails. It's just not how it works sometimes. You know what I mean? So I like the contract with Forster. It is a little scary with the length of and the number and the injury history because he's had injuries in the past before. But I mean, he received a Selke vote in 2024. I mean, your guy Sid loves this guy.
Mm-hmm.
They played together at the World Championships last year. He's had nothing but praise for him. So I love the kid. I hope he can perhaps excel to the expectation that he set last season. I mean, even just to be a 30, 35 goal scorer, the Flyers didn't have a 30 goal scorer this past season. It was kind of a win by committee. I think Tippett and Konechny, I think, held the tie with 28 goals. So if he can turn into a 30 goal scorer, that would be tremendous. But I like the number. Just the years make me a little bit nervous. And we got some Penguins, Steven.
Yeah, of course you did.
Flyers got some Penguins, Steven. Noel Acciari.
Yeah,
Noel
Cookie.
Acciari. Trevor Zegras' best friend.
Hell yeah.
2 years, $2.8 million per. 13 goals, 12 assists, 67 games played. For a fourth liner, those are really, really great numbers. This was basically a replacement for Garnet Hathaway, who had 2 goals in the regular season. Anyone who doesn't think that's an upgrade is absolutely insane. So, I mean, with this fourth line now bolstered, there's still Grabenkin and Grunstrom. I think they're going to keep as the 13th and 14th forwards. I can see them moving Acciari to the wing because Coots will be taking up the fourth line. But I mean, both guys
wing for the Penguins most of the season.
Most of the season, okay.
Yeah, because the fourth line was Blake Lizotte at center, Dewar, and Acciari on the wing.
Got it. So I think Coots stays at center. He's one of the best faceoff guys in the league still. I believe Acciari is also still a very good faceoff guy.
He is.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't have enough good faceoff guys, especially if you're the Philadelphia Flyers. You definitely cannot have enough good faceoff guys because right now Trevor Zegras, our most skilled center, can't really win faceoffs. But and speaking of good faceoff guys, there's a name out there. There's a name out there that's been circulating, and I think with signing Acciari, maybe this has ended. Nothing has been confirmed or denied. The captain might be coming home. It's possible. If I were to be honest, I love me some member berries. I love eat. This would be a bowl full of member berries if Claude Giroux were to come here. This would be absolutely beautiful. There might be tears in my eyes. There might be 12 ceremonies in the Xfinity Mobile Arena. I might attend 8 of them. And I've been boycotting this team. I haven't been to a game since 2019. You've seen more Flyers games than me in the last 7 years.
Way too many. And they've won all of them.
Yeah. Your Flyers all-time record. We should have this on the record, actually.
I was tracking it at one point. I don't know if I hold on. I don't remember if I kept it or not. But the
It might
record.
be like an 800 win
Oh,
percentage.
it's some. I've only seen the Flyers lose, I think, 5 times,
That's a lot of
and
games,
two of the
actually.
games were against the Avalanche. So
Which is hard to. I mean, it's the Avalanche.
yeah, they're undefeated when I'm in house. But
Yeah. But if if G came back, that would be so beautiful. And it does make sense from a hockey perspective. He's still he's 38. He still scored 48 points last year.
he's one of the best face-off men in the league. Still, I think his stats were like almost 60% in the draw I was seeing. So yeah,
He's
no, I mean,
incredible.
no matter where he goes, it's an upgrade. I don't want to hear it as much as I hate him.
He's still
I
got so much. The fact he's
yeah,
got this much game left at 38, man, he is. I've been on record. He might be the most underrated player, like maybe in the history of the NHL.
he's absolutely up there for sure.
I
Like
mean, it's
even
unbelievable what he
as
does. He
much as
just
I,
racks up points.
being a Penguins fan, can't stand him, he's definitely been one of the most underrated players of all time.
He's incredible, and it sucks he doesn't have the hardware. I still think he was robbed of the heart in 2018. I still think he should have had it. But man, if he were to come here, I do think it makes sense. Because the two biggest things that the Flyers had to focus on this year in this offseason were to find a solid backup goaltender and then fix the power play. They got their backup goaltender. The power play has not been the same since Claude Giroux left. It would be quite hilarious and honestly, in some ways, quite pathetic if Claude Giroux is the only guy that can finally fix this power play. However, if there's a guy out there who knows this team, he still is productive on the power play. He doesn't have to be on the first line. He can just go. All he has to do is be a facilitator and win a faceoff, because they were playing Christian Dvorak and Sean Couturier out in the power play because no one could win a faceoff. Giroux is going to be more productive than those two guys on a power play. He's a better facilitator. He's a much better playmaker than Dvorak is, and he can skate better than Couturier. It was, it's not his fault. He's had multiple back surgeries at this point. Just where his game is right now. I think they should pull the trigger, but you can't stop there. You need, and this is where I guess I'll start with my frustrations, is you need a defenseman to really help out this power play. And they traded Bobby Brink for David Jiricek at the trade deadline this past season. They brought him in because he has a wicked shot. I mean, his slapper is ridiculous. I think he might have hit the last game 82, when they played Montreal. I think his slap shot toppered at like 88, 90 miles per hour. It's a bullet. But he's going to be a bottom pair defenseman. You need a legit anchor, which is why when Werenski was still, Werenski as of recently just put out that letter saying he would like to stay in Columbus. So I think for now, that dream of Werenski possibly coming here has died. But John Carlson's name is still out there, and Carolina has not signed him, as we know. As if you want to check your phone, Steven, to make sure that he is still available.
No, there have been some signings. I didn't want to interrupt. It's
You
nothing
can go on.
crazy. Boko Imama from the Pittsburgh Penguins is going to Florida, so one more goon to the goon squad down there. And Mario Ferraro is leaving San Jose. He's going to the Winnipeg Jets.
Winnipeg, okay. All right, here's some small moves. Ferrara's a sneaky good. He's pretty underrated.
Yeah, 4 years, I think is what it said.
No, good for him. Good for him. But yeah, I think Flyers fans everywhere have just been beating the drum of trying to get John Carlson here. I really wish they could have taken the chance. The fact that Carolina was the team that jumped on it, who virtually has zero cap space.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a goalie currently either because Freddie's still unsigned.
Yeah, I mean,
guess
it seems like they're going to roll with
Chekhov,
Bossy. Seems like they're going to roll with Bossy, which I
is
think
he
is
still
the right
signed?
move.
Or is he also a free agent?
I am actually not. That might be one you might have to check for me. So, but yeah, they're not going to let Bossy walk. I can't
No,
see
not
it.
after that.
Nah. And maybe Freddie gets like a vet minimum for 1 year, or he hangs it up. I mean, Freddie's had a great career.
Oh, he's signed 3 years for 5.7. So
For
he's a cap
annual,
hit of almost two a season till 29.
that's a contract. That's a good contract, man.
Yeah.
I mean, his win percentage last year was insane.
Oh yeah. I mean, the
Um,
start he had was unbelievable,
yeah,
especially coming
A-
off the waivers.
and the finish.
Yeah.
Can't get much better than that in your first season. And that was another reason I thought maybe this was the year that Carolina would get it done, is because last time they won, they had a rookie Cam Ward
Mm-hmm.
carry him, and they had another. Although Freddie did so much in the previous 3 rounds, I mean, Bussy finished the job. As another rookie who won him a Stanley Cup in net. It's kind of crazy.
It's actually a more common theme than we think. Because
Yeah,
like
Matt Murray.
Matt Murray 2 times, Jordan Bennington for St. Louis.
Yeah, it's true. I think these goaltenders just don't know any better.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I
go
think
over
all
there
it
just
takes
like,
is one hot goalie, and like that's it. That's all you need.
yeah. But yeah. So Carolina are still waiting to see if they can get a contract done with John Carlson. Tampa and Philadelphia seem to be the two other large names trying to go after him. Maybe some whispers to Toronto, but I can't see him going to Canada.
None anymore. Not
Um,
with all the money they spent today.
yeah, they went crazy. They went to town. We'll talk about Bob a little bit later, but um, I I think you have to get this John Carlson deal done, even if it's just 1 year and you just blow the doors off of like the annual value. Like it just makes so much sense because they still don't have any kind of answer for the power play, which was like the number one question going into this offseason is like, how are they going to fix this? Um, they finished the Flyers finished with 94 points in the season. They had an abysmal January when Dan Vladar was hurt, and they had the absolute worst power play in the league. It was not even close. They were 32nd, dead last, in every metric you can have. Like, just imagine how many points they could have had if they had a legit backup goalie, and if they had a defenseman like they can actually anchor this. They could actually anchor this power play. I think they have to do it. Werenski would have been a dream, but you don't have to give anything up now. There's kind of no excuse for Danny Briere to not get this done. John Carlson wants to stay close to home. He lived in Washington his entire career. It makes too much, and it's an Amtrak ride away. It's like 2 hours. You got to get this done. Anyways, that's the bad part of it. If they can't make any of these moves happen, I think this would be a failure of the offseason. And then maybe that's a little too extreme because last year, Briere brings in Zegras, and then this year is all about developing these young players. This is still a massively young team. They got to bring John Carlson in because then it can even help. It's the same thing we were talking about when we were talking about the Russian connection with Gino and Chinikov. You just need to bring these veterans in to like really coach these young guys up. And imagine what it would do if Jamie Drysdale would share a locker with John Carlson. You know what I mean? That would be massive for his career. And that's a contract that we're still waiting on, an RFA deal, which him and Zegras, I'm waiting to get done. I think will get done. Pretty confident that it will get done. But we'll see. That's it from the Flyers end, kind of. Mildly
You got Zach
disappointed.
Aston Reese too. Don't forget it.
That's true. Yeah. My bad. Zach Aston Reese, 2 years, $850K.
That's just the
That's a Phantoms play.
Yeah.
There were 3 or 4 other Phantoms plays in there. It's never bad to get some AHL depth, but we'll see what happens. Knight's still young. Plenty to go in the week. John Carlson is still out there. I just hope this gets done, man. I really hope this gets done. But we'll get into, I think, probably maybe the biggest signing. Would you say Bobrovsky to Toronto is the biggest surprise for you?
Yeah. It was interesting when I really didn't expect him to leave Florida. Truly, I guess it really came down to money. I don't know what they've figured out yet for their goalie situation. I
Well, they
honestly,
traded for Markstrom, right?
oh yeah, yeah.
Traded for
So I
Markstrom.
forgot they have Marshall from the Devils. Yeah. All right. So That's the thing though with Markstrom. You don't know what you're getting with Markstrom. You could be getting the Panthers' original Markstrom, who was abysmal and you didn't even think would be in the league anymore, or you could go get the Canucks Markstrom and have a potential, Vezina goalie on your hand. But like that's what you don't know what you're getting there. So at least with Bob, you knew exactly what you were getting. I mean, you got Stanley Cup champion Vezina winner. So, like, I mean, you don't really have a lot of those walking around the league right now, and to just kind of let them go. And especially to a rival in your division, um, it's interesting. Toronto definitely needed a goaltender. Out of everyone that like I didn't expect them to go to the Oilers. I didn't. There was no shot. But Toronto, I mean, the markets going to be interesting going from Florida to Toronto. But I mean, Bob definitely can handle the pressure. I mean, there's no worry there. But it definitely helps Toronto because then they have, I guess, Bob and Stolars. I mean, they know each other from being in Florida. So
Yeah.
the term's fine. 3 years, it'll be 41 when it's over. And I mean, if I feel like they don't need to have Bob be like the 50, 60 goal or game starter. I don't think they need him to be that anymore. They just need somebody to be stable in case Stolars can't do it. So they have at least Bob. So and then they traded their goalie prospect that they were.
Hildeby. I was
So
shocked by that. I texted you immediately. I thought it was a dumb move.
yeah,
I mean, it's good to have a succession plan uh, for a goalie. You can't really like, I don't know, giving it up, getting Nick Paul back from Tampa. I mean, Nick Paul's he's a really good third line center. But I mean, at this point, I mean, Stoli gets hurt every season. It is what it is. I mean, I like Stoli a lot. Um, I'm actually curious how many tandems have actually carried over to separate teams? Because we saw Stolars and Bob together in I believe 2019 before Stolars took off.
yeah,
So it's a rare occurrence where you see a tandem back together,
in a different
especially after
franchise.
so many seasons, and then like on a different team together. But I thought rolling with Hildeby as the backup instead of Stolars would have made a lot more sense because he showed some promise for such a young player. I mean, John Shaka's he's got some kind of vision, I guess. Um, but I think the larger story with Bob signing and then like all these moves Toronto made is I really think this means this guy's staying.
Yeah,
I I mean they're making moves to stay competitive. Nyes hasn't been traded yet. Nylander's still there. I mean, you just drafted McKenna. I mean, the fact that like Matthews might share a line with like a young phenom like Gavin McKenna, it might actually entice him. Um, I think he's gonna stay
yeah, he's
after.
kind of replacing Marner
Yeah, yeah, kind of
potentially.
in a way. Yeah, I mean, obviously he doesn't. He's a winger, but uh, I mean, he's got all he scored 8 points in a Penn State game. He
Yeah,
scored 8 points in one game. I mean, this dude's got dynamic offense. So I mean, Toronto's outlook, it's they're in a very interesting position here because everything leading maybe in the past month would have told you that they're about to blow it up and really bottom out. But they don't have their first pick next year. It's a first round pick that belongs to the Flyers. So I guess they're viewing it as, hey, if we can keep Matthews around after we draft McKenna, we still have Nylander and Nyes. Tavares is still productive. They gotta fix the blue line for sure. But I mean, bringing in Bob, just having a good goaltender like that will just fix the blue line by itself. Um, I don't know. Maybe Toronto's competitive this year. I don't know if we were expecting that at all. I definitely think we see Ottawa take a step back this year. Florida's definitely going to take a step forward. Um, we'll see what happens with Toronto. It's very, very interesting where they're going. If we're going to be talking about regressing and then ascending, I think just real quick, I want to talk about the Metropolitan Division since that concerns both of us because Washington bolstered the hell up.
Yeah.
They bolstered the hell up. I mean, getting Jordan Kyrou, getting Alex Tuck. They won the Boone Jenner sweepstakes as I alluded to earlier. I mean, they're loaded on offense now. They still got Dylan Strome. Still got Ryan Leonard still ascending, and they got Logan Thompson, who was I thought should have been a Vezina finalist. I think was fourth place in voting. They're due to take one of these playoff spots, and I'm curious who will be the one to fall out. I don't think the Atlantic's going to be as competitive considering. I think Ottawa will most likely miss the playoffs this year with Brady Tkachuk leaving. Detroit, who knows if Dylan Larkin gets moved, what happens with that, what the fallout is. There's still a lot of shakeup to be had, but the wild card race, I don't imagine is going to be as competitive as it was down the line last year, where the Atlantic took every spot. I'm curious to know your thoughts on what Washington did, if you really think Washington looks like a playoff team on paper.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate it, I mean, obviously this is all to also get Ovechkin to come back one more year. I can't see them doing all this for him to walk and go back to Russia. I can't see it.
Yeah, he'll be back. He's going to be back.
No, I think they're definitely due to make it back into the playoffs. The Rangers, I think, are still. I don't know. I mean, they've made some trades and whatnot. They got Dorofeev now, but they just traded Chodchek. So, like, I don't know. It's a weird dynamic what they are. I don't know what. I don't think they know what they are at this point. I think they're kind of just lost right now. Like Mike Sullivan was supposed to be the guy, and that didn't even work out even close to how anybody expected it. I mean, they were supposed to be in the playoffs, and we were both in the playoffs. So
I think it was pretty short-sighted. I really think they thought Mike Sullivan was just going to propel them into another playoff spot, and it just did not work out for them last year. Last year was pretty awful for them. They conceded very quickly. They were the first team to really concede, like, hey, along with Vancouver, with when they traded Quinn Hughes, they're like, hey, we're tapping out, like pretty early on in the season. I am curious what happens with them now because getting Dorofeev is like electric for that. I mean, he's that dude's unbelievable. Happy he's not on Vegas anymore. But problem is he's in our division now, so that doesn't get much easier. I think I'm with you. I don't think I can see them jumping. I especially don't see them jumping Washington after what they just did, because Washington still has Chikrin. They still have they still have dynamic defensemen. This was the conversation last year. It could be either one of us falling out.
Our division is an interesting one for sure because there's we weren't supposed to be in the playoffs. You weren't supposed to be in the playoffs, and here we both are. The Islanders just lost their captain. So I don't know what the Islanders really. I mean, they have Schaefer. You have to build around that. I mean, you can't not. But I mean, I don't know. That's weird that they would let Lee go. But I mean, I guess I don't know. They're an interesting one too. I don't know if they're going on the up or the down. I mean, if you'd ask me, it seems like they're going down because I haven't seen them sign anybody.
I haven't seen their name once.
I haven't seen a single move get done in any position for them. So
and Barzal's name was out there recently, a possible trade target for certain teams. So I definitely don't see. It might just be wise for the Islanders to, I wouldn't say tank, but maybe try to get a forward asset in next year's draft.
Yeah,
to go along with Schaefer, because I mean that kid looks like he's like the greatest defenseman that we've ever seen.
They have a interesting one because I don't know. I mean, is it too? It's too early for them to win, but they have prime pieces that a team that is primed to win now. Like, is Sorokin going to be there when Schaefer is, at his peak with like the forward core? I don't know. There's a lot of questions, and then like defense besides Schaefer. I mean, yeah, you could build around, but you need other pieces. They don't really have that since they traded Dobson to Montreal. So they're an interesting one. I think the Islanders and the Rangers are. I would imagine would be at the bottom of the division. I would imagine, and then I don't know. I feel like Pittsburgh I they overachieved, so it depends on who they bring in to replace the overachievers. Like if Chinikov doesn't do what he did last year, yeah, that's a big problem. If Kuzmenko doesn't actually pan out, then that's you lost your Mantha there. And there was other guys like Achari. That was a better season. I think one of his best seasons he's had. That fourth line was like the best line at certain points of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Penguins, the defense is pretty much the same. I think the forwards, Sid's not gonna fall off. Malkin is curious, I mean, he's regressed, but I mean, he's still 60 points this season. So the Penguins are an interesting one if they make it or not. I could see them not. I could see them making it. You guys, you're kind of like the same if you don't get, I feel like a defenseman, like you've been saying, I feel like you're in the same boat as where you are currently, that you really haven't done enough to change where you are.
Yeah, it's
The
like
goalies will help, but other
yeah.
than
I
that,
mean,
there really
Wall
isn't.
probably adds in a realistic situation maybe what would be maybe 5 more wins on the season.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had Wall as that, if that carried over, like dumb math, that'd be 104 points.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know. This is going to be a very, very interesting season for the both of us, I think. Because like you said, the Flyers have a lot of ascending talent, but also there are just too many guys like kind of taking turns each month. Like the end, like last 6 to 8 weeks. I mean, Owen Tippett was the best forward. He's insanely streaky. Konechny's obviously insanely streaky, and also not a very good playoff performer. But I think the thing with Owen Tippett is Owen Tippett has flashes where he looks like Nathan McKinnon, and then there's and then he's gone for like 15 games,
If
and you
he
don't know what to
becomes
make out of him.
the 40 goal scorer that I think he can become, because he's always on the cusp, it seems, and he's been going up. If he can stay healthy and do that, that'll definitely boost you for sure. And I mean, if Michkov has anywhere close to a better season than he had last year, that'll also boost you substantially.
It is very funny too. I mean, like so many Flyers fans have said this that so many people have been praising Owen Tippett's season, and also really they've also been very disappointed in Michkov's season. Those players finished with the same amount of points at the end of it, but that just talks to the potential Michkov has, and that's we can have like a 2-hour conversation about Michkov. I don't really feel like doing that right now, but we'll see how it goes. There's still a lot to play out. We will try to check back soon. I think we're about over an hour. We made it. It was good. That's our good way to knock out our first episode. Luckily, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to be dry the next 3 months, but
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean,
who knows? Yeah,
leading up to free agency was more entertaining than the free agency. So
it's true. Draft was, yeah. I mean, I was in friggin' Mexico. All this news was dropping, and I got no clue what's going on. But back in the States, ready for hockey, even though we're roughly 14 weeks away.
yeah,
But this,
yeah,
let's just be outside, enjoy our summer,
yeah.
and we'll talk about it to get through it. But I appreciate everybody for listening. Thank you for so much. Share it with your friends. Like, subscribe. Do all that stuff that everybody tells you. Do it now. Yeah, this is fun getting back into it. We appreciate your time. And we'll see each other soon. Do you have any closing thoughts, Steven?
Just if I was a hockey fan, I'd keep your phone at your hip because you're literally 5 minutes you could see, Dylan Larkin is going to Utah for all you know. It's very interesting, different off season, I think, than what we're used to, especially with the cap being so high now. It's a new era of like off seasons and building your teams now. So it's definitely I'd keep an eye on your phone.
And to Flyers fans, I'd just say take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. Until John Carlson signs with Tampa, then you can slam your phone on the ground. There's going to be no impact players signing now. Let's just relax, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Good night, everybody. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you.